Three sports-loving ladies, Lauren Brooks, Taylor Dahl, and Mia O'Brien.
This is Helmets and Heels.
Driven by Tire Outlet.
Brought to you by Underwood Jewelers.
On 1010XL.
Welcome into Helmets and Heels on this lovely Tuesday night. Taylor Dahl, do you know why it's a lovely Tuesday night?
Because you're a winner?
Because
or not a loser.
That's right. I am not a loser. And were you watching the game at all last night?
A little bit. I did not watch the whole game.
Okay.
But
So I went to dinner with girlfriends, my once-a-month ladies' night dinner, and right around 8:30, I'm starting to, check my phone. And I'm never that person. If I'm out to eat, I only have my phone around if I think someone's going to need me. Otherwise, I don't even like to have it. It's distracting, right? So, but about 8:30, I pull my phone out. I'm like, I gotta keep track of every single point that's happening in this game. So then I get home, and I will say, I cannot enjoy the NBA Finals and this potential championship game because I'm so locked into what's about to happen to loser.
So how close was it going into?
At one point, so I was down 7.
Okay.
Going into last night's game. So, and again, to remind people, this is how bad I am at picking players. Even though I had great help from JJ, great help from Mia, I picked, I think KCP, Kentavious Caldwell-Pope. I probably should have picked someone else, or I should have picked someone other than Caleb Martin perhaps at that point. But either way, point of the story, I had no idea Bruce Brown was going to be so good. I was playing with 3 players the entire 5 games. Hayes was playing with 2 because he picked Tyler Hero, and Tyler Hero never played. And I still was down 7 going into the final game, which turned out to be last night. And
so were you just super relieved when Tyler Hero was not playing though?
That
or were
was
you
helpful,
a little worried
but
that
I still was
night?
oh my goodness, my guys have just not been playing as well as I thought they would be. And so, it was going to take something, and here's what it took. It took Aaron Gordon completely disappearing and only scoring 4 points. If he had had his normal performance like he did through pretty much the first 4 games, I lose. With 3 guys versus Hayes' 2 guys. So I can't even really enjoy it because I'm
about it.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm like, man, you know how embarrassing it would have been if I had lost with the 3 players?
That's
so as it turns out, I did not lose.
Last Tuesday, JJ, he was like, there's just no way that with 2 players.
I felt confident.
And you
and
were.
I knew.
You were confident. You knew and you were correct. So if you forgot or weren't paying attention, Gibby selected Jokic, Vincent, Lowry. Gibby came in with a stunning 262 points. I had Jamal Murray, Caleb Martin, KCP. I had 181 points total. Hayes picked Jimmy Butler, Aaron Gordon, Tyler Hero. He came in with 178 points. And Frank had Adebayo, Porter, and Brown. He came in with 214 points. So the person who picked 4th ended up actually finishing in 2nd. But again, none of that really matters whatsoever.
So Gibby had lost a few before that, right?
He has lost, yes.
A couple
he has
in a row?
lost a couple this year.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's what he was probably relieved that he was.
He's been
Had a
safe since
pretty steady
basically
lead.
game 2.
Yeah.
And he's not a big NBA fan, so I don't even think he was really paying that much attention. And that's the other thing is here I am living and dying with all of this. I mean, as Frank and Hayes are certainly too.
Yeah.
And then, But in watching last night's game, I will say, I think one of my biggest takeaways is the Heat are really close to being able to win. I feel like, JJ, they're just a player away, right?
The Heat?
Yeah.
No.
You don't think so?
No. They shouldn't have even been there. I mean, they were an 8 seed for a reason. They're
if they
punching
have
above
one
their
more,
weight.
if they have a legit superstar to pair with Jimmy Butler, no?
You don't think they would have a couple more?
legit superstar.
That's what I mean by one player away. They need another really good player.
Yes.
But who could that be? That part I don't know.
Yeah, as in, what do they do now?
Yeah, what do the Heat do from here to be able to win in the future?
Do they just, and that's what I don't know, because a lot of the articles, Jimmy even was making comments about how he doesn't know what this team will look like next season. And he was like, it's been fun and we got along. And obviously, and that was a large part of how they got to where they were, because they all just kind of were able to make things happen. One guy would step up here and another guy would step up there. And it was a lot of Jimmy. But then Jimmy, you didn't see Jimmy at certain points at all whatsoever. But he made comments about the potential of how different this team could look next season. So do you let it? Do you tear it down, or do you try to add somebody to help Jimmy?
Because in the NFL, we all pretty much know, we can look at Spot Rack and be able to tell which teams have, a lot of money to be able to spend on free agents, and we know which guys are available. I certainly don't know the NBA well enough to know how do the Heat sit for the future, going into next season and the seasons beyond with what they have to spend with, all that kind of stuff. As far as the Nuggets are concerned, it feels like they're going to win at least 1, 2, 3 more championships.
Yeah, and I obviously am not in depth, like you said, about the NBA, so it's difficult for me. But when you're looking at what the Nuggets were able to do the entire season, honestly, and there was even certain points right before the playoffs began where they just had it locked in. They had it locked down. So it wasn't even like they had to play absolutely unstoppable. They were just gliding along, and they make it look easy. And that's kind of like what the Nuggets have been able to do all season. And we talked about the number all year about their record at home, and it was insane all season long, but then you get to the postseason and it was on a whole different level.
JJ, if I told you that Game 5 no one would get to 100, would you believe me?
No, but I wasn't that surprised by it, especially after the first minute of the game when people were like throwing each other all over the place and they weren't calling anything.
Yeah.
I was like, this is going to be like that most of the night. No, there's been games like that in this playoffs where, they've pretty much swallowed the whistle.
Yeah, I guess I
Which
expected
I like
more
that.
shots to go down, and I mean it certainly helped me selfishly as far as Loser Monday is concerned, as far as the missed shots, and then as far as Jokic goes, Mia's here now. Is there a chance that anybody hates Jokic? Like, there's always somebody,
No.
there's always a faction of people that hate
No.
this winning superstar.
No.
Does anybody hate him?
Do Denver have like intense rivals like the Nuggets? Is there any team that
The
just like can't
Jazz.
stand the
You could
Nuggets?
argue the Jazz. I mean, I would say the Lakers from the bubble, perhaps. The funny part is, and that's why I just keep saying it on this station, is like I look at the Nuggets and I see what Jacksonville in the NFL could be. Because as much as Denver, in terms of media market size, is a top 10 media market, it obviously is a larger city. They have multiple professional sports teams. But the reality is they have long been overlooked. No one looks at Denver and says that's a basketball city. And so that's why that Nuggets fan base is so passionate. They were a small section of the Denver sports fandom, which obviously speaks to it being a Broncos city and it being a hockey town. But they were small but vocal. And they had this chip on their shoulder, and obviously now that has taken them to new heights that they'd never seen before. And I think it transcended both the fan base and the roster that Michael Malone put together. And so they're lovable. Like, it's that simple. Like, they did it the old-fashioned way. They were someone who no one really thought about. People forget that Denver had a basketball team for the longest time after Carmelo Anthony left. And now they're reaping the benefits. And so I think it speaks to, Taylor, that our society loves a good underdog story. And they are the ultimate underdog story. Now what's going to be curious, and I know we talked about this on Primetime, is in a weird twist of fate, that's kind of what the San Antonio Spurs were. And then they became the dynasty under Greg Popovich that we see today, and I would assume with Victor Wembanyama, we probably will see in the future. And they're from a smaller market. You don't really consider San Antonio, per se, especially in the late 90s, early 2000s, to be this basketball mecca. And I think that they largely have kept, and JJ, you can correct me if I'm wrong, it's been a humble approach on the part of the Spurs. I would expect to see some of the same from the Nuggets, but at the same time,
Well, Spurs had the number 1 overall pick twice. They got David Robinson and they got Tim Duncan. I
don't
wouldn't
think
call that like
I never
an
felt
underdog
like they were
story.
Like, it wasn't like,
That an underdog story is a guy who was taken, like you always say, while a Taco Bell commercial was on in the second round. Like 2 number 1 picks, they're supposed to win.
they're supposed to win, but before they got that first number 1 overall pick, was anybody talking about San Antonio being a player?
Well, that was a long, long, long time ago.
Yes. Well, and hey, the Nuggets have been around 47 years, and it took them this long to finally break through, and they didn't have to worry about, well, we made it, and it didn't work. Now what do we do? That
Gosh, I
part
hope
they
it doesn't
skipped a
take the
step.
Jaguars 47 years.
Right. Let us hope and pray.
We're like 30 years, almost 30 years into this
No,
thing.
another
Right.
17
I can't-
years.
Yeah, I can't wait that long. Our time is now. We've had back-to-back number 1 overall picks.
Yeah, but and there you go. So you can even look at that with the Spurs as well, because they were a relatively, I mean, I don't think they had been in existence for 30 years. So what? So let me do the math. 2019 was the Jaguars' 25th year. So they got Trevor in year 27. I feel like, well, how long have the Spurs been around, JJ, before they got the first one?
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm going to look that up because I feel like it could be more of a trajectory like that for this franchise. I just look at the chip on the shoulder of the Denver players and the Denver fan base, and that's where I see Jacksonville. And I see a true program that was built out there in the Mile High City, and I see what Doug Peterson's doing, and that's where I see similarities.
What was your favorite part of the finals?
Favorite part of the finals?
Mine is the game the Heat won.
The game that the Heat won. 1967 for the Spurs, by the way, JJ. But that was, of course, when they were in Dallas. So we'll technically say the San Antonio Spurs came into existence 1974. And then, let's see. And then David Robinson was 1989. So like 14 years. So not bad. So the Jags will compare to the Spurs then. It's okay. My favorite was probably, I loved the fun stat of Nikola Jokic is the first player to have a 30-20-10 triple-double, only to then be joined by his teammate Jamal Murray 5 minutes later. I thought that was fantastic. And then, of course, they became the first duo in a single NBA Finals game to have a triple-double each, or both, I guess you should say. So, yeah, I really enjoyed just the spectacle of it all. And we talked about this on Primetime, just how much Nikola Jokic is going to change the way young people play basketball, just like Steph Curry did not too long ago. The big man, I'm not saying the big man is back, but the big man has evolved, and we've heard that for a decade plus now. And finally, we are seeing the culmination of that, well, big men got to learn how to step out and shoot the three, but the mid-range jumper is dead. No, this guy does all of that, and he's a facilitator. And so I think you're going to see more big point guards, not just in the vein of a Ben Simmons, but in the vein of a Nikola Jokic.
I think my favorite part was getting to know Jokic. Like, this person who, yes, I've heard of. I've watched him some, but not intensely. And following him on and off the court has been so much fun. Like, here is this guy who is just, he at least seemingly from what we can see, a regular human being.
Yeah.
Like, he does not need all the bright lights, and
He does not want to go to the party.
parade. Yeah, he doesn't want the party and the parade. And he wears, like, I guess his wedding ring on his shoes, and he points to his daughter. Like, I appreciate all that. And, oh, by the way, he's an incredible basketball player. I literally had no idea. Again, I don't watch the NBA. I watch the finals when we have Loser Monday. That's it. Watching him every single time he goes to the rim, I think there's no chance that ball's going in the way that this gangly person is going to the rim. And then it goes in every single time.
It reminded me a lot of just how for baseball fans, the way baseball fans are with Mike Trout. Like, if you aren't a baseball fan, you don't know anything about him. You can't, tell you what he sounds like, how he talks, what his personality, anything about his life. But, he's just such a good baseball player that baseball fans love him. And they're like, who cares if it's just, he's not in your face about whatever. And it really, that's what reminded me of it, because the same, I didn't know much about Jokic whatsoever until this postseason. And so it's been fun, to kind of just see the little quirks he has. It's interesting because there was moments where I'm like, he's kind of boring, but he's so good. And then he was afterwards when he looked so stressed when he did not want to go to the parade. I was like, this guy just wants to go home.
He just wants to ride his horse. I'm really hoping for this parade on Thursday that, they fly in some of these Serbian horses so that Jokic can just ride them, not only for himself, because I'm sure he has a couple horses in his house in Denver, but then the whole team. I would love nothing more than to see them
all
ride.
of them on horses.
All of them on horseback. That's honestly what I am rooting for Thursday. I'm also rooting for a couple cameos from the rest of the Jokic brothers. I hope they pick up Michael Malone again. I thought that was fantastic. And yes, I did think it was fantastic, sportsmanship or not, that I enjoyed that Jokic went around and he shook every player on Miami's hand. He shook every Nuggets official, coach, executive's hand. And then he went to his family, and then he went and celebrated.
Well, and then I also liked in his post game that he was like, we.
Not I.
And I love that because I remember, I think it was the LeBron Cavs one. There was a tally of, he said I 13 times in his post game speech. And I was so relieved that he was just like, it wasn't me. Yes, it was, but thank you.
He was giving Christian Brown all the credit after game 3. He has a triple-double. Jamal Murray has a triple-double. And he goes, that guy's 15 points in 19 minutes. That won us the game. And I think what's very comforting in a weird way with Nikola Jokic, and I love Giannis Antetokounmpo. I think that his story is inspiring. I think that he is super witty, and I know it upsets some people, JJ, that he has these press conferences where he gives you his musings on life. He's humble.
That doesn't. What bothered me was he said the season wasn't
a failure.
after they lost in the first round.
Right.
To an 8
I don't have a
Yeah.
problem with Giannis whatsoever.
Okay. So I just, with some of his musings, it's not just JJ. There's some people who don't or aren't as a fan of his. Like, he sits down and he wants to talk about whatever he wants to talk about that day. But he's so humble, and like that's the card, is like he's lovable. Nikola Jokic is also humble, but he doesn't have to inflict this, like, look at me, like, I'm going to talk about, the past. What's the quote? I'm going to have to pull it up from Giannis, but it's like the present is the future. And like, he's not giving you quotes like that. He's not looking to be Aristotle. He just is who he is, and he carries himself that way. And for some people, they really enjoy that.
Yeah, absolutely. JJ, what was your favorite part of the NBA Finals?
Maybe DeAndre Jordan getting into the game last night. I thought that was good.
Okay. And I also
You
like.
guys missed that joke. He's just like a terrible old guy that comes off the bench. He
Every
hasn't
now
played
and
in
then.
like 2 months.
They
Yeah.
just throw him in to like have that he has stats in
Jokic
the
wasn't.
game.
No, he was in foul trouble, and they just needed like a big guy.
I liked the Jeff Green story, how he had heart surgery, and obviously now won championship. And what was the Jamal Murray injury from a few years ago? I saw him.
ACL.
Okay, I saw him lying in the bed or whatever with the knee brace on. Yes, I completely missed the joke. It went well over my head. I didn't know who DeAndre Jordan was. I just knew he wasn't on my team, and I didn't lose. All right, we've got 2 great giveaways for you tonight, so keep on listening for those, and we'll get it to the Jaguars. When we come back and unveil tonight's music theme, you are listening to Humps and Heels, driven by Tyrell at Untension XL 92.5 FM.
Somewhere on a beach.
On a beach towel, my shades on, my drinks up, and the sun's out. I'm somewhere on a beach.
Someone is listening to 1010XL.
Baloo here for Smoonez Vision. Why Smoonez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smoonez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smoonez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smoonez is fellowship trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmoonezVision.com today. Care you can see.
Now at Hodges Mazda, embrace every unexpected turn in a new 2023 Mazda CX-30. Lease a new 2023 Mazda CX-30 for only $259 a month. Lauren Brooks here. No matter where your path leads, the Mazda CX-30 is made to help you follow it. Plus, all vehicle purchases come with 2 years free maintenance. The sales staff works on salary, not commission, allowing them to put your best interests first. That is the Hodges Mazda difference. Visit them online at HodgesMazda.com. See dealer for details. $2,999 due at lease. Signing terms and fees for qualified lessees. 36-month lease expires July 5th, 2023.
Working in the trades industry, going nowhere, sick of dealing with grueling residential install projects and demanding seasonal schedules? Become part of something better. All Weather Contractors wants you to join our multifamily and commercial construction property maintenance team now. Based in Jacksonville, we offer premium pay, bonuses, full benefits, 401k programs, employee stock ownership opportunities, and a culture focused on career advancements and opportunities. Build a better career in the commercial property maintenance industry. Apply online today at allweathercontractors.com.
I'm Jeff Middlecoff with Trustline Mortgage. My business partners, Alan Tyre, Bill Pappas, and Ken Rimley, have been helping clients all over Florida with their construction perm loans for 34 years. Construction perm loans are not easy to find because a lot of banks and credit unions don't understand them, and therefore they don't like to do them. Well, your problem is solved. Trustline Mortgage wants to help you build your dream home. Our construction perm loans are single close, so you save money by not having to close twice, like with other lenders. Some of our construction perm loans allow you to lock in your interest rate up front. And if interest rates go down, we'll give you the better rate. We offer up to 100% VA loans, up to 96.5% for FHA loans, and up to 95% for conventional loans. Call Trustline Mortgage today at 381-LOAN. That's 381-LOAN to find out how we can help you build your dream home. Or visit our website at TrustlineMortgage.com. Trust your instincts and follow the line to Trustline Mortgage.
Certain restrictions apply. See office for details. Trustline is an equal housing lender. MLS number 331480.
U.S. Open Fantasy Golf. Yes. Play against 1010XL and all of Duval. Win a family barbecue feast from Woody's Barbecue. Presented by Pella Windows and Doors. Enter at 1010XL.com.
Oh boy, not again.
Do you feel this way every time there's rain in the forecast? Amy Salt, owner of CrossFit Salt to Tear in the Riverside area, definitely did.
I had major rain anxiety from all the water collecting outside my gym. That's why I'm so happy I reached out to Clearwater Drainage. John came out, designed a system that moved the water off of my property, and all my kettlebells are now dry. I'm sleeping so much better at night.
Clearwater Irrigation.
And drainage, too.
ClearwaterJacks.com.
ET here, and y'all know how much I like my brown water, but I ain't gonna lie, it gives me headaches sometimes. So my alternative is Brackish Vodka. This gluten-free alternative to Tito's is 100% local, and all monies stays right here in Duval. Not only does Brackish Vodka make you feel good, but when you support Brackish Vodka, you're also helping local charities. Try it side by side with your favorite vodka, and you will taste and smell how natural Brackish Vodka really is. And when you do, remember who sent you. Come on, somebody.
Why live with foot or ankle pain? If you have persistent pain, numbness, tingling, burning pain on the bottom of your foot, or swelling that doesn't improve with home treatment, it may be time to see Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute. Our foot and ankle specialists have innovative new options to help you get back in the swing of things without persistent pain that slows you down. Call JOI 2000 or go to joionline.net for an appointment.
Is your house exterior due for a wash? First Coast Home Pros has thousands of 5-star reviews for a reason. They get amazing results on even the toughest pressure washing jobs. Schedule now at firstcoasthomepros.com.
Hey, it's Joe C., and we want to see who can challenge me and the XL Primetime Gang for the Sonny's Barbecue Rib Eating Contest, live right here at the 1010XL Studios. Text the word RIB to 641-1010 for your chance to enter in Rib Mania for America as we gear up for America's birthday. Contest will be live on air June 27th, and you can be part of all the action. Thanks to Sonny's Barbecue for providing the ribs. We just need you to see if you can beat us. Text RIB to 641-1010 for your chance to enter.
Business owners know Andy's Automotive and Truck Services for routine fleet maintenance or emergency repairs. Andy's offers after-hours and mobile service to minimize downtime and keep your fleet on the road. Visit andysats.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars, protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
She rattled the ice in my plastic cup. I said yes, ma'am, fill her up.
These heels are made for talking.
Helmets and Heels.
Driven by Tire Outlet.
Brought to you by Underwood Jewelers.
On 1010XL.
Life ain't been a friend of mine. Lately I've been feeling kind of low. And she looked back over her shoulder, pointed at the sign hanging up on the wall. It said, everything's gonna be alright.
All right, who picked David Lee Murphy and Kenny Chesney? Mia did.
Yeah, I did. I need this relaxing song as I try to catch my breath after that sprint in from getting my hair cut. Thanks for holding the fort down, ladies. Don't hedge your bet and think you're going to beat traffic on Southside Boulevard at 5:45 on a Tuesday, folks. Just a good life hack there.
It was about 5 minutes. I think we can handle it.
Yes, yes. But no, I love that one. When I'm trying to zen, calm down, especially driving around in the car, that's one I always go for.
I like it. Well, our theme tonight, Relax, in honor of Josh Allen being back here in Jacksonville, or at least to our knowledge, at TIAA Bank Field and working with the team. And now fans, media, whoever was uptight about it, they can all relax because he's here. And so songs about relaxing. By the way, for people who don't know, Dust on the Bottle is by David Lee Murphy, who is the lead singer of that
great
song.
Yep.
Yeah, I got to see him in concert. He actually opened for Kenny Chesney the first time Chesney played at Daly's Place. He's a lot of fun. So good song. I'm all in favor. And like I said, songs about relaxing we'll be teeing those up for you this evening. All right, so Josh Allen is here. Mia, you thought he would be. I think he looks great, but there's also really nothing we can absolutely tell for this point.
No, I mean, because again, it's T-shirts and shorts, and he looks good in T-shirt and shorts. A lot of people do at the Underwear Olympics in Indianapolis each year too. I do think that I go back to what my assessment was, and I only got to say hi to Josh and be quick little back and forth. So I didn't get to talk to him extensively. But from my understanding, it truly was that he knows he has to perform this year. He knows he hasn't performed up to standards the last 3 years, and thus he felt he had to move differently. And he was training in a variety of places, as Bill Shuey, his outside linebackers coach, told us. He was here locally. He was a couple other different places. Was spending time with his kids. And again, these are voluntary OTAs. The trade-off, of course, under Doug Peterson is that while the rest of the veterans got cut loose, Josh is there this week. But as Doug stressed, it does sound like it's a good thing because that outside linebacker room is so young, and now Josh can provide some leadership for them during a week in which, because those veterans aren't there, it is a lot of coaching and teaching for the younger guys.
Yeah, I'd much rather Taylor take 3 days in a row than 3 weeks of OTAs, 7 different OTAs spread out over 3 weeks. I'd much rather take the 3 days in a row and skip the voluntary portion, although that also means that he missed out on the paintball.
That is true. He did. I remember it was like a big thing because everyone was like, if Josh Allen shows up at the paintball, I'm going to be so mad. But, yeah, I mean, I think that I get it. There was some worry, but I think that everybody gets a bit concerned when certain players that are supposed to be kind of taking over in certain roles on whether it's offense or defense aren't showing up in moments. And I get it. We say every year they're voluntary, but when 99% of the other people are there and you're not, there's going to be questions, there's going to be concerns. That's just part of this time of season. It is what it is. And I think also if Josh Allen had the last 2 seasons where he was just lights out and people were confident and not worried that maybe he's not living up to the potential or standards that people hold of him, it'd probably be a little different. But there's been a little bit of disappointment surrounding certain things that he's done. And so that kind of adds on to the question marks around this time of year.
Just want to point out the Huddle Up Jacks meetings, they began yesterday. The first one was at String Sports Brewery. I know they had a good attendance turnout there, and then there is another one going on right now, just about to wrap up at the Ramada by Wyndham, and then tomorrow there will be one at Jack's Golf and Country Club from 5 to 6:30 p.m. If you want to go to that, the Frangie Show will be broadcasting live from there, so we'll be excited to talk to Mark Lamping tomorrow and certainly bring more information on the stadium renovation discussion. But if you have more information or if you have more questions, go to Jaguars.com and find the full list of the Huddle Up Jacks meetings. The one that takes place on Thursday is at Hyatt Place at the airport. So I know they're all over town, and certainly if you have questions, make sure you attend one of those so you can get your questions answered. Speaking of the stadium renovation, so Taylor, Daytona came out as a possibility over the weekend. It was, I think, originally floated out by people just suggesting places, not necessarily by the Jaguars, and then now it does seem like they may at least be talking to Daytona International Speedway. What do you think about that in comparison to Gainesville, Orlando?
It's interesting. I heard Hayes talking about it yesterday. I think it was yesterday. And the way he put it was just kind of like, it's intriguing because you want to see like exactly how that setup would be and what it would look like. I've never been to a race at Daytona, but I've been to Rockville at Daytona. So that's like my only experience of how things are set up. And you're not really getting like, you're down there walking, so you're not really seeing what the full view is and whatever. So in my head, it just is kind of like a big mystery of what that could potentially look like. I think it's cool. For me, it's an ideal situation because I know people in Daytona. I don't know people in Gainesville, so it's like, okay, cool. Like we could make a weekend trip to Daytona and make it a whole weekend rather than having to get up at the crack of dawn on Sunday and then come right back, you know. But obviously, all of these are just kind of like, okay, what's the best possible scenario for the entire thing because these guys are playing football here. So you want the best location for that. You want it to be convenient for fans. You also want it to be, I guess the Jags want it to be convenient for the organization, and that's a lot of why I think Gainesville has been such a thing because with the facilities being built here and the kind of trade-off and a little bit of the relationship they already have with the Gator Bowl and all of these other things, that's a more convenient thing, I think. But Daytona it's interesting.
I think that this whole argument about where are they going to play in the 2 years, like let's get the stadium deal done. And trust me, folks, once that stadium deal is agreed to, I understand that it's 2 years of Trevor's prime. I understand it's 2 years of economic impact because there won't be the game day traffic. There won't be the foot traffic in restaurants and shops like there normally is here in Jacksonville, and that is certainly something to contend with. But at the end of the day, if you just deal with it, the pain is part of the path. In 3 years, you get a shiny new stadium, and then the economic impact, the hope is, will double, triple, quadruple from what it currently is because of the businesses you will be able to draw, because you have a brand new stadium, because you can bring Taylor Swift, because you will have businesses that have suites and they want to bring in their clients. you hedge your bet. And yes, it stinks for 2 years, and it certainly stinks because it will be during, presumably, your quarterback's prime.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, if the Jags are 6-0 and Trevor is the leading MVP candidate, if it's in Daytona or it's in Gainesville or it's in Orlando, you will drive, if you are a diehard Jaguars fan, to go there. If anything, the bigger concern, quite frankly, is how many games will they have to play in London, because they say, all right, well, we're trying it out this year with the 2 games, and let's see if, we play 2 games again those 2 years, or heaven forbid 3. That's the bigger concern for me. The bigger concern is if they have to take games to London because they're only going to play X amount in the state of Florida. If they are in the state of Florida and the team is good, you will be traveling to go see them. I guarantee it. And additionally, they're going to be in prime time. And while that certainly would stink for those of you trying to attend the games and those of us covering the games, because who wants to drive back from Gainesville at 2:30 in the morning? Not me. But we'll do it because we're covering a winner. And that's just my biggest takeaway. I find it very fascinating that the conversation has shifted to that, and for good reason, certainly. But for me, the focus right now should be hammering out the details for both sides to ensure that the city benefits, the team benefits, and everybody finds a middle ground.
I'm actually glad that there is a debate between the 2 years, the 4 years, and where to play, because it has taken every person off of should it happen or not.
Yeah.
That has not been a talking point whatsoever. Yeah. And so while I think most people in this city agree, the city in general benefits from the Jaguars, not just because it's a football team, but because of all the other economic impact that the Jaguars have. But now I do think people are finally starting to nail down the idea of, or get used to the idea of, this team may not be here for 2 seasons. And if that means that we get the stadium faster, that should hopefully make everyone happier, and that would keep the cost down. But I think it's funny that we can argue about the different options when we don't have all the information about the different options.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the main thing, and that's certainly why the Huddle Up Jacks meetings are happening, and we will find out more information as time goes too. Like, how much is it going to cost to play in Gainesville? How much is it going to cost to play in Orlando versus Daytona versus, we already know it would be $125 million to add temporary construction and seating to the baseball grounds and or Hodges Stadium, and then $190 million on, for the other option as far as the 4 years start and stop. So to me, yes, they're going to, and I saw in the Times Union that Donna Deegan, the mayor-elect, she'll take office July 1st, is going to set aside $2 million of the budget to meet with, obviously, people and research all the best things and the best path to go about it. So that to me is good news, that they are also, we already know the Jaguars have spent, $2.6 million. The city now is also committing money to that. And so hopefully that is going to get us to keep debating over 2 years, 4 years, and where they're going to play, but not at all as to whether or not the stadium should be renovated.
Well, and I also think that some people, because it's easier said than done that, you can travel. Some people don't have, they're already spending a lot of money for tickets alone to get to the game, and now you're spending money on gas to travel. And are you going to have to get a place to stay down there? Because if it is a later game, like you said, people with kids, are they going to want to drive back at 3 a.m. on a Sunday night if they're trying to, or a Monday night, whatever it may be? So there's other things that go into that, and I think some people are looking at it like, okay, well, the Jags want to save money and get this done in 2 years and go away, but they don't care. It doesn't seem like they care that much that we have to be spending extra money now to travel and go out of town and figure out all of these other circumstances that will revolve not playing in Jacksonville. So I think that's some people's question. So once we get more in-depth answers of okay, here's the exact amount of money that you'll be saving after we pay, let's say whatever you give Gainesville to play there, here's all of the financials of what that will cost in these 2 years and the difference of what it will take 4 years and what you'll have to pay taxes and how long this will be taxed on you and all of those things. And maybe then we'll be able to calm certain scenarios down. But right now there's so many, what ifs and whys and is this really benefiting me in any way type of thing.
Right. And if the stadium's only holding 30,000 during the construction, or if you play at the baseball grounds or UNF, how many of those fans are not able to attend, because then the ticket prices are going to go skyrocketing because not everyone can go, right?
Yeah.
So that's another thing that goes into it. So it'll all be fun to watch as we go through probably the next, I would say, 6 months of these conversations.
And by the way, I do want to note, just responded to a listener on the text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures, that yes, Mark Lamping will be on the Frangie Show tomorrow. That is scheduled to be between 4:30 and 4:45 for your programming needs. We also will be recording this interview and it will be on our 1010XL channel shortly thereafter. So in case you missed it, we will also make sure that it is available for you on demand. Mark will also be calling into XL Primetime on Monday at 2:30 for you Nooners, and we are also efforting getting him on the drill as well. So rest assured, I know a lot of you have questions. We will do our best to facilitate and answer some of those questions when he and the rest of the Jags team join us throughout the course of the next 2 weeks. And make sure you go out to these Duval huddles. I mean, they're putting them on for you. They're doing them all over the city. So, well, certainly it may not be walking distance. Hopefully it's driving distance. They are trying to reach all different corners of this city to ensure that everybody gets their questions answered.
We will keep it on the Jaguars when we return, and we have a giveaway, so keep it right here on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
You say a lot of offensive things, and occasionally you are real funny.
Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser.
You're such a disappointing pair.
They are The Drill.
I prayed so hard for you.
Mornings on 1010XL.
Great. Thanks for coming.
From the moment the first note is played, the music takes over. Grammy winner Peter Frampton. Never Say Never Tour. June 28th, St. Augustine Amphitheater. The one and only Peter Frampton. On sale now at theamp.com.
Hey, this is Jason with Bueller Air Conditioning. Why do we love to go to that awesome grocery store where shopping is a pleasure? Why do we choose that amazing chicken sandwich where the service is fast and friendly and it's always their pleasure? You see, those brands are a promise. Here at Bueller Air, our team is committed to serving the customer and delivering that same kind of brand promise. Our mission is to be the most trusted brand with friendly and professional service every single time. Give us a call today or visit BuellerAir.com.
Mike Dempsey for Dandy Foods, and happy to report that Dandy has brand new goodies out there, only available at select gate locations. 4 delicious new lunch items to choose from. A hot roast beef and provolone, an Italian combo that'll melt in your mouth, spicy buffalo chicken, or a big old juicy 100% beef cheeseburger. They're all served on fresh ciabatta bread, baked locally and delivered daily, just as you'd expect from the folks that bring you fresh, never frozen goodness.
Got that hometown flavor creeping up on you, yeah.
Are you an experienced automotive technician and tired of working for employers who put profit over people? Then come to Action Transmission on Merrill Road and get trained on how to diagnose and rebuild today's complex transmissions. See how we're different. Get traction on your career and come to Action.
Equal opportunity employer.
The 9 after 5 rolls on at the Golf Club of Southampton, so get on the tee with me, Joe C. The XL Primetime League is in the summer stretch, and you need to be part of it. Southampton invites you to join us every Wednesday for our 9 after 5. Beat the heat and blow off a little steam with friends and family at Southampton. Great game every week, good grub afterwards, and prizes. Call 287-PLAY and get in the game every Wednesday. It's our 9 after 5 at Southampton. Call 287-PLAY.
A lot of companies will tell you they're the best. At Custom Tree Surgeons, they show you every time. Custom Tree Surgeons has built an all-pro team. Every tree service professional has years of experience, continually trained and certified. They know what, when, and how to handle any job. It gets done efficiently and quickly by a team of experts. So for tree trimming, removal, stump grinding, and emergency services, forget any name other than Custom Tree Surgeons. There is no job they can't do better. Go to our website, CustomTreeSurgeons.com. That's CustomTreeSurgeons.com, and let them show you how the job is supposed to get done.
I'm with Greg, Cycles of Jacksonville, and when you get out and you think about the new, latest, and greatest machinery from Honda on-road, tell some people about what they can find at your show.
They can find everything from really small bikes like the Honda Grom all the way up to the Honda Goldwing, or if you're more into the cruisers, the full line of Honda Rebels is really hot.
You've got every price point covered.
Every price point, every rider ability.
And the inventory, it comes and goes, so they need to get there, right?
Absolutely. If you see it today, you got to get it today because it's still hot.
Cycles of Jacksonville on Atlantic near Regency.
This is Hayes Carline for First Florida Credit Union. I bank with First Florida Credit Union because I trust them. I can always count on them when it comes to the vast services they provide. They were fantastic in setting up my car loan. I've never had a bad experience, and I've banked with them for years. I trust First Florida Credit Union. I go to the branch off 210 in St. Johns County and the new Durbin location, but they have 10 branches in the Jacksonville area. You need to be banking with First Florida Credit Union. They're enriching people every day. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity Lender.
If you want to get into broadcasting, 1010XL is partnering with the Broadcasters and Sportscasters Mentoring Group to offer on-air broadcast training to a select few. Find out how you can be mentored at getintobroadcasting.com. Getintobroadcasting.com.
Jumbo Shrimp Baseball, presented by FIS, is home this week at 1-to-1 Financial Ballpark. Tonight is Community First 2 for Tuesday and Military Appreciation Night. Tomorrow at noon, it's Big Splash Day on 5-Star Good is Everywhere Wednesday, and the weekend starts with Coors Light Thirsty Thursday. Enjoy fireworks Friday and Saturday. Baseball all week and weekend. Tickets start at just $5.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. A Tuesday night tradition in Duval.
Helmets and Heels.
Driven by Tire Outlet.
Brought to you by Underwood Jewelers.
On 1010XL.
Ass in the sand, not a worry in a world of cold beer in my hand. Life is good today. Life is good today. Well, a plane touched down just about 3 o'clock.
Zach Brown Band's Toes. This is the first song that comes to my mind when thinking about relaxing in honor of Josh Allen being back. So now everybody can relax. I think, by the way, some of the negativity about him missing voluntary OTAs might have gotten to him, Mia. I sensed that.
I was getting the vibe.
Yeah.
Well, also, I mean, you also have to look along that sideline, and there's like 4 one-on-ones, and then there's 28 people crowding Josh Allen.
Yeah. He has to expect that. Come on. You just didn't show up to the entire OTAs. You know you're going to get surrounded when you walk up here, and nothing was said. But his body language is very like, I don't want to be talking to you guys.
Well, because, I mean, Josh is used to having nice little one-on-one conversations. He has a great relationship with all of us on the beat. And, you know, when you see 28 people and it's not Trevor from the media lined up against, talking to a player, that either means you did something wrong or something's wrong. Mm-hmm. Something is wrong. So Josh hasn't been in that situation. Like, when I think of 28 people speaking to a player, I think of Jalen Ramsey's epic tirade before his back injury. I think of when Yannick Ngakoue questions about his contract. Mm-hmm. And I think of Urban Meyer. That's just naturally over the course of the last 5 years, that's what I think of.
It is a lot of times the contract stuff. You will see that a lot at camp when there's some sort of, whether it be like a holdout for contract or like, hey, you haven't signed, or I guess they're not there if there's no contract, but there's not an extension yet, or it's always that when you're like seeing that huddle of people.
Yeah, I think in the end, like I said, he can relax. Everybody else can relax. Well, he has to keep still working hard, but everyone else can relax. And so that is our music theme tonight. If you want to go see the Jumbo Shrimp this week, be caller number 4 at 641-1010. You will get to go see the Jumbo Shrimp go up against Nashville. That series begins tonight, and it runs through Father's Day on Sunday. Caller number 4, 641-1010. We've got another giveaway coming up later that has to do with music, so keep it right here. All right, let's get it to the Jaguars with the most to prove this season. 3 Jaguars. And I'm going to say Trevor Lawrence has to be taken out of the conversation because we all know every quarterback on every NFL team has a lot to prove. So 3 Jaguars that are not named Trevor Lawrence, Taylor Dahl.
Yeah, and I personally probably wouldn't have even put Trevor in there because I just feel like, I mean, you've proven that
he proved it over half a season.
Yeah, and do I expect improvement? Yes, but he wouldn't be one of the ones where I'd be like, you have to prove yourself like right away. For me, I think I'm going to go Calvin Ridley for my first player. Do you want me to just tell you 3? Okay. So Calvin Ridley, Josh Allen, and Evan Ingram are my 3. I was debating putting Trayvon in there just because you would want to kind of see a big step from someone you just drafted first overall. But I do think because they haven't even known really where to play him on the football field, I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt, and I'm hoping that this year, it'll just be kind of that progression. We'll see. But for me, I think Calvin obviously is a situation because there's a good amount of pressure on him. A lot of people are saying, hey, this is all of the things that you've done. We've seen you be an incredible wide receiver, but he's missed a year from being suspended, and then he missed pretty much a half a season, I think it was, with the injury. So there's a lot of people are looking at this like, okay, well, we're going to need to see that you're worth being, that number one guy and being Trevor and taking Trevor to that next level. So for me, I do think Calvin has something to prove. It was interesting to me, the sound from him with Hayes, because he made the comment about like, I wouldn't have chose this place if I didn't think they were going somewhere or whatever. And I was like, you didn't choose this place. You got traded. So you didn't really have the choice.
I do wonder, you're right, because I thought the
Unless
same thing
he,
when I first heard it. But then I was like, but maybe they did have conversations like, I don't want to go to this place. So, I don't know about his contract as far as no trade clauses,
all of the
things
details.
like that. So that's what I started to think that too. Like, well, you didn't have an option. But then I was like, well, maybe they did help
there was,
him.
hey, we'll send you to Jacksonville. Is that cool?
Right.
Like, okay.
Because it does feel like he kind of handpicked, even if he didn't, it does feel like that with a lot of his comments.
And then obviously Josh Allen for the reasons we've just been talking about. And then for me, Evan Ingram too. Obviously he's not there. There's no contract. They're still figuring all of that out. So he's not in attendance right now because of whatever those discussions are. And I'm not sure anybody really knows what the exact holdup is or what's going on. But also I think just because last year he played really well, but before that he did not. And so I think for me, I'm going to need to see another Evan Ingram season like last year for me to really feel comfortable that, yes, like he's worth a contract. So I'm interested to see what happens right now with camp with all the contract talks, because it's interesting that we haven't heard much. It's been kind of silent on that end. But those are the three guys for me that I kind of, and it's relieving that it's nobody that's like, okay, we need our quarterback, or we need like this massive playmaker to really take a step up, or we're going to completely bomb. I don't think any of these are those, but they're all, to me, guys that you would hope would be able to really make a name for themselves this season.
Off the text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. I do like this, and that's why I want to preface with this response from 2129 before I get to my three. I actually think Trevor does have a lot to prove. I think he needs to prove that he turned a corner and didn't just get hot. Mm-mm. And I really hadn't looked at it that way. Yeah. Even today, it was funny, like in conversations with the coordinators and just talking to other media members, when people ask about, oh, how's Trevor? I'm like, why are we asking this? We know he's great, but it is true. Yeah. Even for someone as mature and as even-keeled as he is, you would have to think this, at least a portion of the national media and the national fans of the NFL saying, oh, well, it was just a 7-game, lightning in a bottle situation. He still could be a bust.
Yeah.
You would think that's got to get to him. This is the same guy that readily admitted that he kept receipts when he did turn that corner.
Yeah. And honestly, he threw 1 touchdown in the last 3 weeks and then threw 4 picks to start the Chargers game. So there definitely is, that's why I said there's definitely improvement. But I think that we saw enough last season that I think you're confident enough to be like, Trevor, you're confident Trevor's the guy.
We believe in him for sure. Everyone believes in him.
Right. I don't know.
But he does have a lot to prove, because now we're having the conversations of where is he on the list of quarterbacks in the AFC? Yeah. Could he get to second behind Mahomes?
Right. Precisely. And I think that with the weapons they've surrounded him with, yes. And I think a second year in that system, yes. That's why, for my 3 players that have the most to prove, they're all on the defensive side of the ball, because I do think that this defense, more than the offense, this team is truly banking on coaching, and a second year of continuity will elevate everyone's game. And what you saw in the last 7 weeks of the season, that is a microcosm of what we are going to be. That was, once everything gelled, that was the goal all along. And so my 3 players, Josh Allen, same reasons that Taylor outlined. Trayvon Walker, also for the same reasons you outlined, because I think even more so than Trevor, there's a national narrative about the other former number 1 overall pick on this team. And then my third is Devin Lloyd, because there's a lot of people saying, why did you trade up for him? He looked lost out there. What position is he actually going to play? All the reviews that we have gotten from the coaching staff, from Doug Peterson, from other players, is that he looks like he's understanding the game. He's not being pulled in multiple directions. And the question of will he move to the outside? Will he rush from inside? That seems to be answered as well. He is definitively an inside linebacker with the ability to create pressure up the middle, which is something that this team has been lacking, at the very least in the 5 years I've covered the team, if not longer. And so it'll be curious to see if it all does come together for him. But lest we forget, he's another first-round pick. Can he avoid being another quote-unquote first-round bust by the Jacksonville Jaguars?
I agree with all of the ones that you guys gave. If I had given mine without hearing any of them, I would have said Josh Allen for sure, Calvin Ridley for sure, Trayvon Walker absolutely, Evan Ingram. Those are all ones that come to mind because there's a lot. Trayvon is set here for a few years, but for everyone else, there's a lot of money on the line if they don't play well. I think a couple other guys that certainly have their season is going to be really important, I should say. Cam Robinson.
Yeah,
I
was about to say, do we have an offensive lineman?
Everyone's just assuming he's not on this team past this season, and I understand why because of the contract and everything like that. But what if Walker Little isn't a great left tackle, and what if Cam Robinson plays lights out all season?
Yeah.
Then he has a massive amount to prove, and maybe it's going to take a lot for him to be here, but that's a possibility. And then obviously the name I just mentioned, Walker Little. Walker Little has been here now for a few years. He has a huge chance to prove that he should be the left tackle.
Yeah.
And then I'll give you, just for fun, a special teams player with a lot to prove.
Ooh.
Brandon McManus.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. I honestly didn't even think about Brandon.
Well, that's because nobody ever thinks about the kicker. But I was trying to go, through every single starter, and it's like, all right, well, this guy now comes in with, Riley Patterson was pretty good here.
Yeah.
He was pretty accurate. No, he didn't have the biggest leg, but McManus does.
Yeah.
And one thing the Jaguars have always had is a really good kicker. Always.
Yeah.
Between Hollis and Scobie and Lambeau and certainly Patterson last year. And again, I understand it's the kicker, but sometimes that person is the most important person on the field.
Oh, yeah.
When Patterson lined up for the kick to beat the Chargers, that was huge. There were other moments, obviously, throughout the postseason run, or I should say the end of the season run, that were really important. If he doesn't make a kick, whether it's an extra point or a field goal, the Jaguars aren't in the position that they were in. Obviously we know. It's not like the Jaguars skated into the postseason. It came down to a very close game against Tennessee and a big play by Josh Allen. So I'm going to say McManus. I'm going to throw him in there.
Would either of you say any secondary, like a Cisco or Campbell at all?
I wouldn't say them because, Cisco, I would maybe say a little bit more, but Campbell, I think, has already proven it. I think he's one of the better corners in the league.
Yeah, we were told this morning that the Next Gen stats came out, and Tyson Campbell came, at the end of the day, was the 4th-ranked corner in the National Football League.
I've seen him on list after list nationally. So,
which Darius Williams, by the way, also came in at 9th on that Next Gen stats top 10. And so that's another reason why, as much as it seems everybody is so panicked about the third corner position and who is going to be the nickel, they're pretty confident that those two guys didn't really start playing together on the outside until the last 7-8 games of the season. And they're pretty confident that in keeping that duo together, you will create more opportunities for your pass rush. And additionally, if you're locked down there, then you can concentrate, if that nickel is struggling, bring some extra help down there.
There's a ton of guys that go in the category, all of them really, they need to play well in order for the Jaguars to have a good season.
Oh, yeah.
And that's where I would put guys like Campbell and Cisco and Christian Kirk and obviously Zay. And every single player on this team. Anton Harrison, I wouldn't put him in he has something to prove because he's a rookie, but he certainly better play well for the time that he has to start. And then we'll see, like we said, with Cam Robinson at some point in time coming back. We don't know how long he's suspended still, which that news has to come out before training camp, right? Like, can we get a Friday news dump this Friday and just move
finally
along?
know.
From what I've been told, your guess is as good as theirs.
Why is this taking so long?
No one knows.
What
honestly.
is happening?
Part of it is the NFLPA and the testing is all separate and independent of the team.
Okay.
And so therefore the team only finds out when they get official word.
Okay.
Otherwise, all the conversations are between the agent, the NFLPA, and this separate testing entity. And so because of that, the Jags have been kind of left in the dark.
Okay.
So there we go. All right, our Sweet Shots brought to you by Bellwether. Come up next. You're listening to Helmets and Heels, driven by a tire outlet on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Now, another classic moment in Jags history. 1010XL.
Here's Linda Beaver.
We know that you have options when it comes to buying or servicing your vehicle. We also know that not all experiences are created equal. We promise when you choose to do business with Beaver, you will always get a genuine smile when you arrive, commitment to what you need to accomplish with your purchase or service, and lifelong relationships with a team that cares. Pair all that with a huge selection of inventory. You can't go wrong with Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine or Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville. We promise we're here to wow ya.
June is the start of hurricane season. Now is the perfect time to make sure your home is protected from those storms by scheduling a complimentary roof inspection with Universal Roof and Contracting. And right now, get 15% off your roofing project, plus flexible financing. This offer expires June 30th and restrictions apply. Universal Roof and Contracting, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. License number CCC 1330747, CVC 1258484.
UniversalRoof.com.
Does your home or building need painting? For over 20 years, Performance Painting has had the privilege of preserving many of Jacksonville's most prominent buildings. That said, we feel like we're just getting started. I'm Jason Parker, and our team thrives on preparing, protecting, and preserving the homes, businesses, and public buildings that make up our local landscape. Contact us today to put our years of experience to work for you. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting.
Yo, yo, yo! Are you looking for the lowest price on car insurance? ET here for Australia Car Insurance. Call 1-800-CAR-INSURANCE today. Australia is your quick and easy alternative to pay less for car insurance. Switch and save money. Call 1-800-CAR-INSURANce today.
Tobacco-Free Florida has many free ways to help you quit nicotine. From free 2-week starter kits of quit aids to free cessation services like Phone Quit and Group Quit. We're even trying out new motivational tactics.
You're the greatest quitter. He's tobacco's greatest quitter. He's tobacco's greatest quitter of all.
Or maybe we'll just stick to the ways we know work. Visit tobaccofreeflorida.com or call 1-877-YOU-CAN-NOW for free nicotine patches.
Don't ignore plumbing leaks. They can lead to mold and mildew or structural damage and drain your wallet. So when you have a leak and can't wait a week, call Roland Reich Plumbing. PlumbingJacksonville.com.
Hey folks, you ever search why Shark Coatings is the best? Well, one of the many reasons is our polyurea. We don't just buy it from anyone who has it in stock. We custom blend ours, specializing between summer and winter blend, providing you with the best product for our area. After grinding the concrete, that polyurea will form a permanent bond at the molecular level and will not pull away like epoxy. With Shark Coatings, not only will your garage look awesome, but your pool deck, patio, or driveway will too. See how Shark Coatings can make a difference for you. Call, click, or text today.
The time to buy an emergency generator is before you need it, not when you're sitting in the dark. Storms happen in a hurry in Florida, so be prepared. Protect your family and property with American Electrical Contracting. Call them today, 737-7770.
Home of the Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Everyone seems to be in a time crunch these days. Well, don't forget you can always count on the cold case at Daly's. Always convenient, always cold. Whether it's the king of beers, Natty Light, Stella, or Cigar City, or Goose Island or Bud Light Seltzer. Dash into Daly's and grab one to go.
Find your why in your next career move at the First Coast YMCA. Everyone can get involved and make a difference in your community at the Y. And if you'd like to turn your passion into a fulfilling career, the Y is an equal opportunity employer and is now hiring youth program leaders, lifeguards, swim instructors, and more. Plus, Y staff enjoy benefits including free YMCA membership and free childcare while you work. Find your passion, find your why in a career at fcymca.org.
The First Coast has voted. Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute is proud to be chosen as Bold City's best in the orthopedic practice and physical therapy and rehab centers categories once again. For the last 29 years, JOI has continually strived for the highest level of orthopedic surgery and rehab care. As the needs of the community evolve, so will they. That's why coaches, parents, and athletes choose JOI. Call them at JOI 2000 or visit JOI.net. JOI, where the pros go.
Tired of the same old places for happy hour? Downtown's best is at Bellwether. It's Tuesday through Saturday from 4 to 7, with the exception on Friday when happy hour starts at 11 because why not? For all you late-nighters, Bellwether offers nightcap specials on Friday and Saturday from 9 to 11. Want a snack with your cocktail? Bellwether has a unique bar food spread. And guess what? All metered parking is free after 6 and weekends. That's Bellwether downtown.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars, protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555, Jacksonville.
Stilettos and sabermetrics.
Helmets and heels, driven by Tire Outlet. Brought to you by Underwood Jewelers.
On 1010XL.
Don't use them so reckless. 'Cause for you I'm helpless. You gotta take caution. You know that I'm all in. The chance of me falling. You know that it's soft.
All right, Taylor, what'd you serve up for us?
So this song is called Wildfire. It's by a guy named Cassius Clay. But it's just one of the songs where it's called Wildfire, but the whole gist of the song is just like life being calm and like nice and easy, and not having to like try too hard for a relationship or try too hard of like any aspect in life. Just being able to feel peace, pretty much, is like what the song's about. But I love it. I don't even honestly remember where I first heard the song. It was probably on my Spotify recommended or something like that. But I just immediately loved his voice, and it's also one of the songs, like Mia said, where you just have certain ones where you're just wanting to like chill. This is definitely one of the ones I put on.
Okay, so Cautious Clay. But at first I thought you said Cassius Clay.
I think I did, but it's Cautious.
Okay.
Yes.
So yeah, he's not trying to be Muhammad Ali. But yeah, Cautious Clay. Okay, very cool. I always like hearing songs I've never heard before. You do a great job with that. I like it. It's very soothing.
Yes.
And so certainly it fits the theme of relaxation. Now that Josh Allen is back, everybody can RELAX, which I tweeted that out yesterday, Taylor, and I was like, Taylor's not going to like this because I'm using an Aaron Rodgers reference. But I feel like in this scenario, it's fine.
It's funny because he's like not in my life anymore, and it's been so
breakup
peaceful.
is permanent.
Honestly, because just for the last few years, my whole Twitter has been just like, well, not all of my Twitter, but like half my Twitter has just been like Aaron Rodgers. Oh, he said this or he did this, or it's blah 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 drama. And I was thinking about it yesterday, and I was like, I've honestly barely seen anything, and it's been really nice. Like the only conversations Bears fans are having are like, okay, it's honestly more so on the Green Bay side of you kind of don't want them to suck this year because you don't want them to get Caleb Williams or Drake May. So that's like the conversations we're having, and it's so nice to not have to talk about that man anymore.
Absolutely. We're about to get to Sweet Shots brought to you by Bellwether, but it makes me ask a question. JJ, you're headed to Vegas soon for the bachelor party.
Woo!
What kind of shots will you take?
Like drinking shots?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What other shots are you taking?
I don't know.
Like, are you a shots person? Like, is that something you love?
I don't love it, but
Okay.
yeah, if someone's offering me shots, I'll take shots.
I gotcha. I love Jell-O shots, but I don't love regular shots. I feel like Jell-O shots are like
Fireball, right?
occasionally, but for the
Okay.
most part, like I feel like Jell-O shots are like nice and easy in comparison to real shots.
Is this how we're segueing to the College World Series or our Sweet Shots? Or do you want to do
Sweet
both?
shots. It's actually both. It's a segue for both because we're about to talk about Jell-O shots. But I brought some friends to a bar they had Sunday Fun Day because their kids are gone, and so they had never been to a specific bar in Neptune Beach. And they have Jell-O shots, and so I took them into there and was like, "Isn't this the greatest thing? Because you don't have to feel, you don't have to feel bad after. Not that all shots you feel bad, but I feel like the older you get, the less you want to take like the serious shots. You want to remember the fun. That's why I was asking JJ, because if I take more than one shot, I feel like I don't remember everything, and you'll want to remember everything. All right, let's get it to the Sweet Shots, brought to you by Bellwether.
Pay close attention. She put that sugar on my tongue. She's gonna give me some. She put it right there on my tongue.
Denver's Caldwell Pope hits a 3 in the fourth to put Nuggets up 7 points.
Caldwell Pope tries a 3. It's good! Contavious Caldwell Pope, the lead back to 7.
Nick Taylor drains the 72-foot eagle putt on the fourth playoff hole to win the 2023 RBC Canadian Open.
Good pace. Are you serious? Oh my goodness! Glorious and free! But Canada has a conquering hero.
Reds Ellie De La Cruz smashes first Major League homer 458 feet.
Doubled, walked twice yesterday.
Anticipation to see what.
Oh, goodness!
Nick Taylor, were you watching the Canadian Open live?
You know, that was not me.
True, it wasn't Victor Hovland.
It's not me.
So, Mia, were you watching it live?
No, actually, it was funny. We were driving back from Atlanta, and I had just pulled up my phone to be like, oh, I wonder who ended up holding on to win. And at that moment, I saw Twitter just, like, lost its mind because it was funny because, like, ESPN updated and said Nick Taylor won. And I went, oh, the Canadian guy won. And then at that moment, like, I got all the alerts of, like, oh, my God, watch this crazy putt. And I was like, oh, geez, this literally just happened. And so, yeah, that was how I was witness to it in real time of sorts. But no, did not watch it actually live, but a hell of a call by Nance, which I've been giving him some flack lately. Some of his calls, I'm like, come on, Jimmy, you could do better. But that one was solid. And I also loved that then the Canadians rushed to the 18th green.
Oh, yeah.
I understand it's a gentleman's sport and you're not supposed to do that, but come on, man. Canada hadn't had a Canadian
They were talking about
winner.
someone got tackled. It was like
Adam Hadwin.
1950-something.
Oh, my gosh.
1958. Or no, sorry, 1954. That's when it was.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
So-
I wasn't watching live either. And then watching back the highlights, I was like, dang, I really missed something special. Usually this, in between majors, you don't miss a whole lot. But speaking, by the way, of golf, I'll need to get some U.S. Open Loser Monday advice. I'll run through the scenario. I feel like that's what this show has become. Lauren needs advice on Loser Monday. Thanks to y'all's advice, I did not lose the NBA Finals, even though I tried. All right.
I love, just really quick, because the one I chose was the Reds just called up a guy recently, Ellie De La Cruz, and he's just been insane. But that home run, I love the call because he was like, that ball had a family. I was like, that was fantastic.
I think a lot of social account or team social accounts must use that because I've seen that for like a different, like BT Riopelle, like something like along those lines too. And I didn't pick a Florida baseball highlight just because the way that Florida beat South Carolina to head to Omaha was a 4-0 victory. So it wasn't like it wasn't just one moment that advanced Florida. But yeah, so speaking of Jello shots, Florida is obviously heading to the College World Series in Omaha, taking on Virginia. First pitch, 7 p.m. Friday night. But we've got Rocco's Jello Shot Challenge. The teams, of course, that are in it: Florida, TCU, Wake Forest, Virginia, Oral Roberts, LSU, Stanford. Mia, who wins the Jello Shot Challenge? And for people who don't know, people can go to this bar and
Roscoe's.
Yeah, Rocco's,
excuse
and
me.
contribute money, and then that will get their team. The more Jello shots they buy, that will get their team higher on the leaderboard.
Yeah, last year we had Arkansas. That was the winner
of the Jello Shot Challenge.
Yeah, just
So what is this? The
least
most
expected.
fans?
The most fans that buy the
In
Jello
this-
shots.
okay.
And if I remember correctly, A&M last year was a disappointing showing. I think TCU's.
I don't know how you remember this stuff.
Yeah, TCU's fan base, I feel like, especially after the defeat in the College Football National Championship, I think they'll show up.
Okay.
Obviously, I know the Gators will show. Per my parents, because they were with my cousins, two of whom went to Virginia, the Virginia baseball fandom is a thing. So I'm curious if they will make the trip to Omaha. Because I think they might get involved. Charlottesville isn't Virginia like what you think when, so many of us from the Northeast growing up, like a lot of you listening, like think Virginia and you think Fairfax County. You think Virginia Beach even to an extent, and it's like, no, Charlottesville, they know how to party. And so I would think that they would compete. But my real winner is LSU, and it pains me to say it. But looking at the scenes, the absolute scenes from their super regional, those fans travel. We know that they will make that trek to Omaha. We know they've invested so much in that baseball program. I believe they will invest just as much in their drinking. And sorry, Stanford, I think for a second straight year, you and Wake Forest are going to be pulling up the rear. I would love to see Oral Roberts. I would love to see them have a great showing, and both on the field and among their fan base. But the reality is, I mean, I'm pulling it up right now, the enrollment at Oral Roberts, which I always forget that it's actually in Oklahoma. They enroll 5,000 students per semester. And so in terms of an alumni base, I don't know. I'm curious to see. But obviously they've had some nice runs in the NCAA tournament on the basketball front, So maybe they can,
Is there a favorite, like, actual, who's supposed to win this? Is there someone that's
College
by
World
far
Series
the,
or the Jello Shot
the,
Challenge?
the actual baseball games?
Okay. That would be Wake Forest,
Okay.
who's been number one for the majority of the season.
Okay.
And then Florida and LSU are tied for second. And so I was looking at the home run leaders of the entire season, and Florida, LSU, and Wake Forest are among the top. So it makes perfect sense. Yeah, LSU's in second. Florida Gulf Coast actually had the most home runs all season long. And so it was really impressive when UNF actually beat them 2 out of 3, I think, towards the end of the season. But either way, So Florida has a great chance, and then LSU has this one pitcher in Paul Skeens who's incredible, and pretty much LSU wins every game he pitches. And then, like I said, Wake Forest has just been a really good team all season long. But LSU and Wake Forest take each other on
the first
to
round.
kick everything off. Yeah, so that'll be really
That's
interesting as to how that shakes out. And I don't know if you guys turned on the college baseball after the NBA Finals last night, but Stanford and the awful way that, I mean, poor Texas, fine for Stanford, but poor Texas to lose that pop fly and to lose like that on that walk-off. Oh, that is heartbreaking. I'm kind of glad it wasn't
from
just
here on that Texas team too, I believe.
Yes, I believe so. I think he's a pitcher.
Yeah.
But at least it was like 3 of them and not just one guy that missed the
I
routine
know.
pop fly. Like, your heart
Like
just
the one
breaks.
person who ruined all of it.
Yes.
It was like a few things went wrong for
If
them.
nothing else, though, I'm happy for Stanford that literally had a pitcher throw 150 pitches in the second game.
156.
Yeah, in the second game, just to ensure. Yeah, just because this is the playoffs, it's do or die. You know, you got to push all your chips to the center of the table.
Right.
Now the concern is he just threw 156 pitches and now he's got to go to Omaha. Are you going to ask him to go into triple digits again?
136.
56.
Holy moly.
Yeah. Right.
Oh my gosh.
And like I
didn't notice it was that high.
I talked about this last night with my buddy John Alba, and I just said to him, I was like, the reality is that Tommy John surgery is now essentially a rite of passage. Whether you're in high school, college, Major League Baseball, it is a given that you will have it. And if anything, you will come back stronger from it. And that's very unfortunate because I don't think that, you should be viewing having a massive surgery that at times in terms of rehabilitation can take up to 2 years, that you get a new arm and now you could just go right back to pitching like crazy. I don't know how sustainable that is because I think each human body is different. But, yeah, it's a wild world we live in. But, again, I think for those that are old school and they believe in for the love of the game, it was a great story. I just hope his arm doesn't fall off in Omaha.
Yeah. I read a stat on the Frangie Show last week or the week before that, last week, elbow injuries are up 44% over last season in Major League Baseball.
That's wild.
Just over last season, and we already have been talking about how many Tommy John surgeries we've had, right, and elbow injuries. And it just seems like the moment you hear inflammation of the elbow, that they're headed to Tommy John. Yes, they always wait like the 2 months to try and see, they go on IL, maybe it'll be fine, the swelling will go down, but it doesn't, and then they have to have that surgery.
Real quick, too, because it was LeBaron Johnson. He played for
From
Paxton. Yeah. That was a kid. I knew there was somebody.
Yeah. So unfortunately, Texas's
Hannah,
dreams
so
came
sad.
to an end in a terrible way, but Stanford does move along. All right, we've got a concert giveaway when we return. You're listening to Helmets and Heels, driven by Tire Outlet on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Bringing sports talk to the First Coast. This is 1010XL, Jacksonville Sports Radio.
Rick Ballou for Carlson Dental. I've been telling you this for quite some time because it's true. I hate going to the dentist, or at least I used to hate going to the dentist. I had total anxiety, and then I tried sedation. Light sedation for cleaning and deep sedation as well for cavities and root canals. Folks, it's an incredible experience. So don't be nervous. Don't be scared. Go to CarlsonDentalGroup.com. That's CarlsonDentalGroup.com for all of your dental needs.
Denny Thompson here. Tyson Sound Security is hiring salespeople right now. If you want to sell new tech security cameras or home automation, Tyson Sound Security is looking for you. Tyson Sound Security is hiring for sales positions, and they will train you to be successful. Apply online at TysonSoundandSecurity.com or call 762-1000. That's 762-1000. Hiring for sales positions right now. Apply online at TysonSoundandSecurity.com or call 762-1000. Equal opportunity employer.
Malfunctions in your electrical panel can lead to hazards like fire or power outages, leaving your home at risk. So leave it to the pros and Mr. Sparky.
888-8 Your on-time electrician, Mr. Sparky of the First Coast.
If you can't get out on your boat and fish the way you used to because of back or shoulder pain, join me, Matt Hayes, for Pain-Free Living with Dr. Mitchell Yas, Sunday mornings at 10. Here on 1010XL.
Hicken here. After work's done for the day, I know you like to find your favorite sofa or recliner and watch the game. That's why you gotta call Zero Res this month. At Zero Res this month, tell them I sent you, and you'll get 25% off all upholstery.
Zero Res.
At Andy's Automotive and Truck Services,
They know that your company's fleet is more than just a bunch of cars and trucks. It's your livelihood, your reputation, your pride. So when you need routine fleet maintenance or emergency repairs, Andy's offers after-hours and mobile service to minimize your downtime and keep your fleet running like new. While you care for your employees and customers, rest assured Andy's Automotive will take care of your fleet. Visit the team at andysats.com.
Are you ready to upgrade your summer vacation? General RV is here to help. This week, you'll get top dollar for your used RV when you trade it in during our trade-up sales event, June 14th through the 18th. Whether you're looking for a different model or a whole new way to camp, there's never been a better time to trade up. Don't have an RV to trade in? You can still get up to 40% off our huge selection of RVs, only at General RV, in Orange Park on Wells Road off 295.
It's time to fire up the grill. Houston's Meat Specials of the Week. 10 pounds of fresh jumbo chicken wings, only $12.95. 2-pack pork spare ribs, only $1.99 a pound. And whole T-bone steaks at $5.95 a pound. Only at Houston's Meats, Main Street and 295.
Hey, it's Tony from Tony D's Pizza. If you love our pizza and pasta dishes, let us cater an event for you. Family function or office parties, we can deliver you an amazing Italian meal. Remember, it's not just pizza at Tony D's. Bay Meadows and $2.95.
All year long you'll be singing our song. Stay cooler with Bueller. At the head of our class we make it happen fast. Stay cooler with Bueller. For heating and air we always play fair. We make the difference 'cause we really care. Bueller Air. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Jumbo Shrimp Baseball, presented by FIS, is home this week at 1-to-1 Financial Ballpark. Tonight is Community First 2 for Tuesday and Military Appreciation Night. Tomorrow at noon, it's Big Splash Day on ViStar Good is Everywhere Wednesday, and the weekend starts with Coors Light Thirsty Thursday. Enjoy fireworks Friday and Saturday. Baseball all week and weekend. Tickets start at just $5.
Hey, Dad. Hey, Mom. Looking for a great way for your kids to enjoy sports? Check out I9 Sports, the way youth sports should be, offering flag football, basketball, soccer, and t-ball in Duval, St. Johns, and Clay County. You can play year-round, fall, winter, spring, and summer seasons with co-ed programs ages 3 to 17. Enter promo code 1010XL to receive $5 off registration. All the details are at i9sports.com.
Prosser here for Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. With the weather now hot as can be, look ahead and get that backyard ready for fall with a new open-air or screened-in enclosure. Maximize the space you have and make it great with Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. They truly are the best in the business. So if you have the space and the idea, give them a call today. Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring. Showroom just off Phillips Highway. Tell them Prosser sent you.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
These heels are made for talking.
Helmets and heels.
Driven by Tire Outlet.
Brought to you by Underwood Jewelers.
On 1010XL.
JJ, your selection?
Of course.
Love it. Who sings this?
Frankie Goes to Hollywood.
Okay. Is this a one-hit wonder?
Absolutely.
Okay. I'm so bad at knowing the names of those.
I was about to ask if this was Peter Frampton because we were giving away tickets.
Jesus.
I was like, I don't know.
We are, like Taylor said, giving away a pair of tickets to go see Peter Frampton at the Amp in St. Augustine Wednesday, June 28th. Be caller number 2 at 641-1010. Caller number 2, 641-1010. You will win the pair of tickets to go see Frampton at the Amp. That kind of goes together, right?
Frampton at the Amp.
That's right. down in St. Augustine, one of the
I love
great
the Amp.
venues. Me too. I'm going there next month for Riley Green.
Nice.
Looking forward
Love
to it. Yeah. All right. So when it comes to golf, Rory McIlroy and Brooks Koepka will be in the same group. I expect zero drama.
Really?
Yep. I expect full etiquette now that the two
they've combined.
Yeah, the two entities have combined. I expect Rory.
But I feel like Brooks
to be on his
didn't
best
care
behavior.
about. Brooks was like already kind of like a little more of one of the ones that you'd get something out of, like even pre-split.
Yeah.
Are we gonna get like an eye roll from Brooks Koepka?
I feel like that's
Apparently, he had a wry smile. Was the reports
Okay.
that I saw out of Los Angeles Country Club today when he had his media availability.
Ah, okay.
Like
So-
Rory's a gentleman.
And that's why I feel like, I feel like it's just going to be, I feel like they have already had a conversation and they both really want to win the U.S. Open. I mean,
Yeah.
let's be honest. Rory McIlroy has a lot riding on it.
Yeah.
Hasn't won a major since, 2014?
Mm-hmm.
Brooks Koepka just
Coming
won a
off hot.
major. Yeah, PGA Championship. We know he plays way better in majors than he does in regular tournaments. He
Yeah.
really cares only about majors. So those two guys want to go out there. And so I think you have to kind of put any of that old stuff aside. I did see John Rahm did speak up for players and say that, they don't feel like they can trust management. I understand that. If Rahm is going to become the face now of PGA Tour, I feel like careful because your golf game might suffer. At least that's what we
Yeah.
believe happened with Rory McIlroy.
Well, he said how stressful it was and how much
Absolutely.
it was on him. So he's probably honestly breathing like a little sigh of relief right now. Like, okay, maybe I don't have to put so much energy into the non-golf side of this world.
Yeah, I mean, now the question, though, is will we see a change in leadership in the next year, if not sooner, especially with the comments made by John Rahm about their concerns about management? And then does Rory McIlroy then get pulled into those meetings? Or is it just an internal promotion? That's where I look at poor Rory, and I just feel bad because he tried to be the noble, good soldier, and it's kind of like how some people say, like, don't be the best at your job, just be like above average, because if you're the best, they're going to ask more of you, and if you're just above average, then you're just going to keep skating by.
Yeah.
We also had that conversation about the Jaguars' offensive line, specifically Cam Robinson on primetime today, and I think the same can be said, because if you're one of those guys who's good, but he's not as vocal, you just keep riding along.
Well, and that if Rory
Like, no one's
somehow-
asking Scotty Scheffler for his opinion.
Yeah.
No.
So.
Well, if Rory ended up winning, I could just see him having the reaction of like Jokic, where he's like, I just want to go home now.
No, but I think with Rory, and that's what's cool, is I think we're getting back to if Rory was to win the U.S. Open this weekend, it will be purely a euphoric celebration with regards to the fact that he has not won a major since 2014, 2015.
So wild.
It will be more about this cathartic, I finally got it done after everybody said that, he still can't win the big ones. He can't figure it out. He's got the yips. Something's wrong. And so that's where I think we're getting back to just golf. And that's where, as quirky as it is, second John Alba reference of the show, shout out to my boy. I loved the analogy, the tweet that he and several others sent last Tuesday about this is the Michael Scott Paper Company being absolved into Dunder Mifflin. Like truly. Like, I mean, once they brought Michael, and not to spoil it for those of you who are just watching The Office, but once they brought Michael.
I think they're fine.
Yeah, I think they're fine too. Once they brought Michael and Pam and the temp back, like, it was fine. There was like nothing, no harm done, hard feelings. And I think, at least on the course, I think we're headed for that sort of trajectory. While there certainly will be some folks that, they're a little upset they didn't take the bag and then suffer no repercussions. At the end of the day, I think they view it as now it will be elevated purses for all.
Yeah. I hope it is that, because I was just getting so many vibes of like that like toxic ex that you like tell all your friends you hate and you're done with, and then you then you take them back and you're like, well, sorry.
That's the worst for the friends, honestly.
Yeah.
Because once someone breaks up with someone, then you can finally share your honest thoughts about that person and be like,
and then
I never liked this, and this. And then all of a sudden, like, oh, you're back to, oh no. Now
here we go.
The cat has been let out of the bag. I can't put the cat back in the bag.
Yeah.
Things are just not going well. All right, so who do you have your eye on this week at the U.S. Open out in Los Angeles, Mia?
Well, so let's run through.
Because we already know who Taylor has her eye
yes,
on.
which, according to the good folks at MyBookie, sixth best odds for one Victor Hovland. Let's take a look at some of the other numbers they've posted. Scotty Scheffler, the favorite, plus 570. I think it's hard to argue with that. Not only has he performed well at the majors, I mean, he's somehow finding his way into the top 10 of every random tournament on the tour. Like, if you go through the last, 8 leaderboards, Scottie Scheffler, even if he's not winning or in second or third, you scroll
He's
down to
sitting
T9,
Yeah.
and there he is. I've never seen a consistent run that isn't getting talked about quite like his over the last decade.
Well, there's
plus.
been other stuff to talk about.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
And Scotty's
Some
this
golf
nice,
news.
good old boy from Austin, Texas, who just likes to do Bible study and get coffee with his wife. And unfortunately, that's not sexy enough for sports media in
He and
2023.
Jokic can hang out.
Right, exactly. Maybe they should go ride horses together. Texas, Serbia, it'll be a great friendship.
Yeah.
John Rahm, the second best odds at plus 860. Brooks Koepka, plus 1,000. Rory McIlroy, fourth best odds at plus 1,100. Again, this is according to MyBookie. This one was interesting, Lauren and Taylor. Patrick Cantlay, plus 1,425. And then Xander Schauffele and Jordan Spieth. And then
It's always the same names.
Cam Smith and Terrell Hatton rounding out the top 10. I thought it was fascinating, and granted, it's a different course for a different horse. But Matthew Fitzpatrick, last year's U.S. Open winner at Brookline, 12th best odds, and really isn't getting talked about at all. And he's played pretty good golf over the last few months. And so I was kind of surprised he's not in a featured group either. And I understand, this U.S. Open is independent of last year's, but super fascinating to see him not get talked about as much. It's a unique course. It hasn't been played in a major since the 1950s, a lot of 1950s references. Ben Hogan was the last one to win at LA Country Club. It is smaller than a lot of other courses. They're only going to have a fraction of the patrons that a normal U.S. Open gets. And so
I bet those tickets are expensive.
Yeah, 2,200 or 22,000. I forget what the number is. It's 22,000. The exact
People?
number. Yes, correct. As opposed to the usual 40,000.
Okay.
So it's something like that. Jeff Prosser said it this morning on the drill. So it's a decreased number. But to answer your original question, I look at all that. I consider the course. I consider what we've seen patterns over the past decade, and I find myself picking Brooks Koepka. Or at the very least, that's what I picked in the Anytime Fitness Sawgrass poll at the gym this morning. And that was partially because Scotty, Rahm, Rory, Hovland, Morikawa were all taken. And I like those guys on this course. And I also didn't want to ride the roller coaster that is Jordan Spieth. And I just think that Brooks Koepka, lest we forget, not only did he win the PGA Championship, but he finished in second at the Masters. And he won one of the last live golf events on domestic soil. He's playing as good of golf as anybody. And I think just as much as it would be so great for the tour if Rory wins and everything gets pushed to the side, I also wouldn't be surprised if, Brooks with his wry smile somehow pulls this thing off.
Yeah, certainly he's a golfer who I think he deserves to have the really good odds to win this thing. Like we said, he plays so well in these, and he doesn't get intimidated. That's one characteristic of Koepka that has had him play so well in all these majors. I would expect, as far as Loser Monday goes, so Hayes gets the first selection since he lost the NBA Finals. Then it'll be Gibby, then it'll be me, then Frank, then Reimer. So Reimer always goes last when it comes to golf. So here's who Hayes has picked so far this year who he cannot pick. Jason Day, John Rahm, Patrick Cantlay. My gut is he's going to pick Scottie Scheffler.
That would be the logical move, yes.
Right. And then Gibby goes second. Gibby has picked Rahm, Scheffler, and Schauffele. My gut would be he takes Cantlay. That's my gut, only because I think he'll stay away from Rory for sure. He could take Hovland, which screws me up to take Hovland because I like Victor Hovland. But if he takes Hovland, then that's when I have to figure out and scramble.
Has nobody had Hovland this year?
No, nobody's picked Hovland this year.
I think it would be a good pick, not just because he's Taylor Dahl's guy, but he's playing great golf.
Yeah, absolutely. And so,
in contention at both the majors.
I am hoping Gibby does not pick Hovland.
Yeah.
And certainly Hayes could pick Hovland with the first pick. I just predict he's going to take Scheffler.
Yeah.
And then I'm expecting Gibby to take Cantlay, so then I could take Hovland. But if he takes Hovland, then that's when, like I said, I have to figure out a different strategy. I have picked Justin Thomas, Rory McIlroy, John Rahm. And, of course, I lost with Rory at the Masters, even though I said I wasn't going to pick him.
Did you lose with Rahm, too?
No, thankfully.
Didn't
Gibby
you pick him
lost
for the
with Rahm.
player? I was going to say, who picked him at the players?
Gibby picked him for the
did.
players,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
he withdrew.
Does Gibby like Patrick Cantlay?
He tends to pick that type of player, like
Guys who have never won a major before.
but guys who typically make the cut. Because obviously in ours, it's not.
You don't have to win.
You don't have to win. You're just trying to make the cut. And there are certain golfers that, like Rahm in the past, he's gotten much more consistent now. Used to kind of fly off the handle at times if he wasn't playing well. DeChambeau used to do that at times too. So yeah, it's obviously JJ much more about making the cut. And so I'm not saying he likes Cantlay. I just have a feeling that because of where he sits in the odds and based off of who he's picked, that's the direction I would expect him to go because I know he's not going to pick Rory.
JJ and I already said if Patrick Cantlay is in the lead on Sunday,
I'll be dreading
strap in, people, because they already
drink a coffee around like 6 p.m.
Yeah, they've already got Pacific Coast tee times. So, I mean, for those of you night owls out there, this is going to be amazing. You can sleep in, get some golf later on in the day Sunday. But, I mean, I go back to poor Brooks Koepka and how upset he was at the Masters that he's like, I'm stuck behind this guy. I'm trying to win the tournament, and he's going at a snail's pace.
Nobody likes playing with Cantlay. No one likes watching Cantlay. No one likes Patrick Cantlay.
Same with Reed, right? Patrick Reed?
Yes, same. Yeah,
I don't know if
that's
he plays
different.
slow. They just don't like him because he's a cheater.
Yeah, and also just his demeanor. Although him and Patrick Cantlay, I think, were friends before Reed went to live. So maybe they've rekindled that friendship.
Perhaps.
Can I read for you? These are the results of all of the tournaments dating back to January 8th that Scotty Scheffler has entered in 2023.
Okay.
T7, T11, 1. T12, T4, 1. 4th, T10, T11, T5, T2, T3, 3.
Well, I have a thing against Scotty Scheffler because the only time I picked him last year in the PGA, he lost. For me, the entire bet didn't make the cut.
Come on now. That was let bygones be bygones.
I can't. Once somebody hurts you like that, it's hard to ever get over that. Maybe I just hold grudges longer. But yeah
there's like not one outside of the 11.
By the way, Lauren.
Yeah, Scheffler's really, really, really good.
He's only been cut twice since then.
Okay, that's what it's
So
it just
last
happens
year
to
when you
be
picked.
when I picked him, he's only been cut. And that doesn't surprise me. He's
Yeah.
such a consistent golfer.
And in the remaining tournaments, the lowest he's finished is T21 at the Open last summer. So, yeah. If there's anybody, if you're listening out there and you're an amateur golf fan, or an amateur golfer, you could be both, and you're in an office pool, if Scotty Scheffler is available, just take him. I know the money may not pay out that well, depending on what you're gambling on. But the guy is just so automatic that even if he doesn't win the whole thing, he's going to find his way into the top 10.
Well, and that'll be the question is, does someone take, not Scheffler, but does someone take Koepka? Because at this point, no one in the golf picking has taken any of the guys that went to live.
Well, he's got
But I have a feeling that's going to change.
He's got, right. Well, first of all, they're back. Second of all, he's got 5 majors. And
4 PGA Tour wins. 5 majors, 4 PGA Tour wins.
Which is wacky, but that's been the case long before he left to go to live.
Non-majors.
But of those 5 majors, he's got 3 PGAs and 2 U.S. Opens. And the 2, like, it's always been pretty much like around the same calendar year when he's won those tournaments. I'm going to pull it up right now just to clarify. But yeah, he won the PGA. He won the U.S. Open in 2017, so summer 2017. He comes back, he wins the PGA in 2018. So that would have been, May 2018. Or actually, no, that was before the calendar shifted.
Yeah,
Either way.
August.
Then he wins the U.S. Open 2018. And then he wins the PGA in 2019. So they're kind of bunched together. And so now there's this outlier of 2023. And so that's why I won't be surprised if 2023 is also posted on Wikipedia in a week's time under U.S.
Another
Open.
one.
Yeah.
Have you guys had all of your golfers make the cut ever?
Ever, yes, but I'm pretty sure it's only happened like once or twice. That's what's so crazy. Like, Rory didn't make the cut for the Masters. Rahm obviously withdrew at the Players.
Mhm.
And then Cam Young is who Reimer picked for the PGA Championship, and he didn't make the cut.
Yeah.
But Scheffler was available for him to take. He just didn't realize it. And so he would have certainly made the cut then, and then we would have had certainly more drama.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it'll be interesting. It'll be fun to watch. I suppose if you like you said, if like Mia said, night golf.
Yeah.
That's not necessarily my preferred schedule, but certainly on Father's Day, hopefully all the dads have a good Father's Day and they get to sit back, relax, and enjoy some golf.
Well, they get to take a nap, and then there's still
Sure.
golf on.
That's right. We've got one segment to go here in Helmets and Heels, driven by Tire Outlet on Tintinix on 92.5 FM.
No static ever. Download the free 1010XL app for Apple and Android devices and take us with you wherever you go. 1010XL.
Tired of the same old places for happy hour? Downtown's best is at Bellwether. It's Tuesday through Saturday from 4 to 7, with the exception on Friday when happy hour starts at 11 because why not? For all you late-nighters, Bellwether offers nightcap specials on Friday and Saturday from 9 to 11. Want a snack with your cocktail? Bellwether has a unique bar food spread. And guess what? All metered parking is free after 6 and weekends. That's Bellwether downtown.
Ever wonder what it's like to drive a real military tank? Check out tankamerica.com for a badass tank driving experience. That's right, you can drive an actual tank through mud and crush cars. Sounds awesome, right? Visit tankamerica.com.
Josie for the Jacksonville Eye Center. If you're thinking about LASIK and finally seeing 20/20 without glasses or contacts, now's the time to do it. Jack's Eye Center and Dr. Robert Snipper, experts in eye care with the latest technology. Dr. Snipper uses the Allegretta Wave and blade-free interlace technology. And with it, Dr. Snipper has earned a prestigious reputation for his success in LASIK. You need to call 355-5555 right now and make an appointment to see Dr. Snipper or log on to drsnipper.com.
This Father's Day, tell your dad you're a fan with gift ideas from Woody's Barbecue, Woodcraft of Jacksonville, and Tank America.
That's awesome!
Gift ideas for Father's Day are a click away at 1010XL.com.
Are you an electrician looking for better pay and benefits? Miller Electric Company has the industry-leading compensation package. Electricians are eligible for a signing bonus up to $1,000. Now, they're partnering with the Jaguars on their new performance facility, the Miller Electric Center. Miller Electric has opportunities for you to work on some of the most exciting projects right here in Jacksonville. Whether you're experienced or not, visit MillerCareers.com, an equal opportunity employer. That's MillerCareers.com.
Duck Duck Air Conditioning, a division of Duck Duck Rooter, is looking for experienced and dependable HVAC services technicians to join our growing team. Duck Duck Air Conditioning is committed to delivering the highest level of service to our customers. Successful candidates will be hardworking, dependable, possess strong problem-solving skills with at least 2 years of HVAC experience. Ready to get to work? Please visit our website at duckduckac.com and click on the careers page. We look forward to hearing from you. That's duckduckac.com.
Duck Duck AC is an equal opportunity employer.
Are you drowning in credit card debt? Want to get cash out of your home's equity? Loan Pronto can now do it in less than a week. Hey, it's Prosser here, and that's right. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit just got even faster. You can get $50,000, $100,000, or even $200,000 in as little as 5 days. And you don't even have to touch your primary mortgage, so you can keep that 3% rate intact. Just get the money you need and pay off all those credit cards, or get that home improvement project started. With this revolutionary program, you can access up to 90% of your home's value, and in most cases, there's no appraisal. Stop paying insane interest rates to the credit card companies and get tens or even hundreds of thousands in cash in as little as 5 days. Call Loan Pronto now for the even faster Equity Express line. 904-999-1508. LoanPronto.com or 904-999-1508. That's 904-999-1508. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
We've been telling you for almost a year about Nathan's Family Chiropractic and the 100-Year Lifestyle Network. If chronic back or joint pain is keeping you down, don't listen to me. Listen to what Jacksonville is saying about Dr. Alan Nathan.
The stem cell treatment took the pain away.
Changed my life. It's awesome.
Your body just works better when it's aligned. We're believers.
His no-needle regenerative protocols are giving people their lives back. Get yours back, too. Go to the pro in the know. Don't do another cortisone injection. He's one of us, helping all of us for the past 25 years. For more info, drnathans.com.
Summer Nights, presented by One to One Financial, is an evening affair benefiting Boys and Girls Clubs of Northeast Florida, Saturday, August 26th. Enjoy an evening at the beautiful Glass Factory as you sip premium cocktails, dance the night away with live swing music from Bold City Classics, taste delicious dishes from local restaurants, and win exciting auction packages. For details and tickets, go to tinyurl.com/2023 Summer Nights.
Are your kids ready to play this summer? Come check out the Y. Summer is a time for kids to explore new things and expand the limits of their imagination. At the Y Summer Camp, every day is a new adventure. Kids can learn about STEM, arts and humanities, athletic sports, outdoor games, and more. Registration is now open, but space is limited, and spots are filling up quickly. Learn more and find your adventure at fcymca.org. Search Summer Day Camp.
Summertime is here, and it's time to cast those worries out. And Royal is here to help you do that with our Summer Termite Special, featuring Centricon. Starting at just $249. That's right, I said $249, and that's installed.
Visit RoyalPestServices.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
These heels are made for talking.
Helmets and Heels.
Driven by Tire Outlet.
Brought to you by Underwood Jewelers.
On 1010XL.
I hope you've enjoyed this edition of Helmets and Heels. Driven by Tire Outlet on 1010XL and 2.5 FM. I hope everyone has had a wonderful Tuesday. Mia, you selected meditation music.
May the light and peace and happiness
I was
shine
about
onto
to say,
all
I
of
feel
you.
like we're on Delilah.
Namaste. Namaste.
I, growing up, every night listened to Delilah to go to
I
sleep.
love Delilah.
Me too. She's got that calm voice. She's so sweet. She's always bringing you uplifting stories. Yeah, I had a stereo in my room. Never had a TV, but I had a stereo, and it would go to 96.1 Delilah. Delilah. Is she Delilah After Dark?
Yes, Delilah. Yeah, it's something like that.
Is that what it is? Is that where Hacker After Dark got its name? Delilah?
Is it Delilah After Dark?
I don't think it
always
is.
just hear Delilah.
Yeah, that's all I
I think
remember.
it's just that. By the way, a little hockey update. I'm seeing reports that Matthew Tkachuk, of course, one of the emotional leaders, and he of so many goals this postseason, will not play reportedly.
Oh, wow.
For the Florida Panthers.
I thought they were going to lose already to Vegas, but now I really think so.
Yikes.
Not great. Not great. That's per Kyle. I'm not even going to attempt his last name, but the Rinkside host on Sportsnet up north of the border in Canada. Second Canada reference of tonight's
a lot of
Helmets and
Canada.
Heels. A lot of Canada.
Glorious and free, right?
Yes, precisely. Although they still haven't won a Stanley Cup in my lifetime.
Delilah has 15 children.
What?
15?
She's adopted.
11 have been adopted.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say, I know she's adopted a lot. Again, a lot of
Holy
that
moly.
information used to sink into my head as I would go to sleep at night. She's a great person. I mean,
She adopted a kid that had sickle cell anemia from some other country that only had 9 months to live.
oh my gosh.
That
takes
like
a
traumatizing.
You know what? If you
Yes.
want a
That
really
takes a
good listen,
strong person.
if you want a really good listen, especially
Hold on. Sorry to cut you off, but she's been married 4 times,
Oh.
and she's out here giving advice. Jesus.
I don't think she gives advice.
Oh, yes,
She does.
She does?
Yeah,
Oh
people
my
would
God,
like
that's
send
the whole
in,
show.
they'd
They
call
call
in or send her
I mean,
like
it's not
emails.
exactly groundbreaking stuff.
Yeah.
But it's like,
I thought she
if
more
you
just
love him
highlighted
and he loves you,
Yeah.
you guys just need to get it together. and
Well, that's why
work
she was
things
married
out.
4 times.
Yeah.
I mean,
Just keep
yeah,
trying.
she's always trying.
I think it's hard to be married to somebody that wants to keep adopting kids. Like, that takes
That's
a
a
very
financial
Very
burden.
annoying, yeah.
Yeah. Annoying.
11 is too much. Sorry.
That's a lot.
Since we will be saying hello to Ryan the Hacker Green because Rick Ballou is on vacation this week. Correct. You will have for you night owls, you will have 2 extra hours this evening of non-1010XL programming. So if you're looking for something to listen to besides Delilah as you're falling asleep this evening, I don't know if you guys got a chance to listen to Dan Lebitard is doing South Beach Sessions, which are one-on-one, hour-long, long-form podcasts with some of the biggest names in sports media. A similar project, hour-long podcast maybe coming to 1010 soon. But he had Ernie Johnson on last week, and Ernie talked about how he and his wife in the early 90s, they had it all. He was the local sports anchor at WSB in Atlanta, was about to head to Turner. They had a daughter and a son, 11 and 8 years old. Wife had a great gig too. And then she watched TV and she saw Eastern Europe and Russian orphanages and said, I am compelled to go there and help. And he said, no problem, get up and leave for 2 months. And while she was there, she called Ernie and said, there's a boy, a young boy. He can't walk. I have no idea, like, his condition, which they later found out it was a terminal condition. But she said, we have to bring him home. And they went back and they adopted 4 children over the course of the next decade, and including Michael, who was the one that he's talked about so often. And it's just a tremendous interview. So if you do have a little bit of time when 1010XL is not on the air with our original programming, make sure you go check it out, just because I think it's a good story. Also, they cut themselves off at 4, so there's also that. 15, a little too much there, my girl. But it's certainly something that I think, regardless of your situation, it's an uplifting listen, and you won't fall asleep during it like you would that yoga music I made JJ play.
Taylor, you have happy birthday wishes?
Yeah, I just wanted to say a quick happy birthday to my best friend, Maria. I feel like as girls, it's like a week of birthdays. So we have so many.
Or a month.
Yeah, whatever you want to do. But we have like multiple days this week where we have different things going on. But I just wanted to say happy birthday because she is, first of all, hilarious. And I've been posting on Twitter this week about like, okay, we've been pretty much inseparable since I was 19, I think 18, turning 19. So it was a lot of my life with Maria, and she's just hilarious. You've met Maria. She's fantastic. But so I just want to say happy birthday. She's probably not listening live, but I will. Her husband is, and he will tell her. So.
Okay. When is her actual birthday?
Her actual birthday is tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Does she have to
Okay,
work?
so we're going out to. No, she's on vacation actually right now. She took her vacation around her birthday, so
Super
it's
cool.
perfect timing. Yeah.
That's smart. I will be working on my birthday, but that's fine. All right. I want to get quickly to the Women's World Cup. I feel like it has snuck up upon everyone. Like, did you realize,
Nope.
Taylor, before I put it in the email, that it
No
begins
idea.
next month?
Nope.
Yeah. JJ, do you care about the Women's World Cup?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so. Mia, you care.
Yes.
You and I both certainly care a lot. Taylor,
Yes.
you'll probably watch.
I'll watch, yeah.
Other than the game
Some.
that's at 3 a.m. against
we'll not
Portugal.
watch that.
So the United States women's national team have the best odds to win, and this would be a three-peat of the Women's World Cup. They won in 2015 and 2019. And then they are slightly favored over England, and then much more favored over Germany, Spain, France, Australia. The first game, the United States plays Vietnam July 21st at 9 p.m., so that's reasonable.
Yep.
Then the Netherlands, July 26th. That's the first day of training camp for the Jaguars. 9 p.m., also reasonable. But Portugal, 3 a.m., not as reasonable. I will say in 2002, for the Men's World Cup, I'll never forget because my family had a vacation house on the ocean for our family reunion. And so I was in college at the time, but it was summertime, so I was at the house at the beach, and so was my brother, and so my dad. We were all obviously big soccer fans. I forget who we were playing. I could look it up, but the United States had a very important game. It was not just the group stage, and
I think it was Portugal, maybe.
was it Portugal? Okay, because it was like 2:30 in the morning, Eastern time. And we set our alarms, and we went downstairs, and we watched every second of that game. Wow. We won, I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly. And so it's stuff like that. Like, I probably won't wake up at 3 a.m. to watch that, but I probably will record it.
What day of
and
the
then-
week is that on?
That's a good question. What is August 1st? I'll be able to tell you in a second. But so the roster should be set in the near future. Megan Rapinoe just had an injury, so she may or may not make the team. We know that Dansby Swanson's wife, Mallory Swanson, formerly Mallory Pugh,
Injured also.
she has a torn patellar tendon. She's definitely out. There have been some other injuries. Julie Ertz hasn't played for the women's team in over 600 days. Whether or not she'll make the team, I would assume she makes the team, but how much will she play? And then Rose Lavelle is also coming off of an injury Tuesday, August 1st. So, yeah, 3 a.m. That would make for a long day. Rose Lavelle is coming off of an injury, so she needs to get healthy too. So the roster building will be interesting to see what they do. There will be some, I think, new names that people aren't familiar with.
Yes.
But I'm looking forward to it.
And I think it's going to be a younger look, but also I think the rest of the playing field has been leveled because I think as you're looking at women's soccer rankings nationally, the rest of the world is starting to catch up. And it was funny because back in 2019 when the United States simply just ran the table in France at the World Cup, there was this notion of, well, good thing because this is the last year that they're going to be able to do it. And so it'll be curious if that comes to fruition. Germany right now is second in the world rankings, and obviously they have won a World Cup before. Sweden is third. They, too, have won. Actually, no, they didn't. Did they win in 95 or was it Norway? Norway won in 95. But Sweden has been there. They have been to a final before. England has not. But England, with the Women's Professional League, has certainly been more progressive than perhaps even in the United States where we may probably don't talk about the NWSL enough. And so a lot of those women, similar to the WNBA, are going overseas and playing during the off season because much like European basketball, you can get paid more over there. And so that's where I am genuinely curious to see which of these countries steps up. Because for the Netherlands to make the 2019 final was a bit shocking. By all accounts, they are now ranked 9th in the world. And so can those other 7 teams in between, the reigning champs and the last World Cup runner-up, can they make some noise? Can they actually create some sort of obstacle for the United States?
Yeah. So the United States are that good to where that many injuries of like the well-known players are still making them favorites.
Absolutely.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, there's a lot of depth for this team. And it's certainly the complete opposite of the men's national team. But an injury here or there, and that team does not fare very well.
Yeah.
By the way, before we say hello to Hacker, congratulations to Jenna Antonucci. Have you heard that name before? Jenna Antonucci. She became the first female trainer ever to win the Belmont Stakes and the first to win a Triple Crown race when Arcangelo won the Belmont on Saturday. I'm not going to get into horse racing because I think that's a really scary sport right now. But either way, I just wanted to say congratulations to her as we say hello to Hacker.
Now, the 2-minute drill, brought to you by Tire Outlet. Tire Outlet is now hiring. Visit tireoutlet.com/careers. Equal opportunity employer.
Hacker, did you stay up and watch the Rays lose to the A's?
You know, that started what has been basically a 21 hours of it's not been a good day in my life. All right, it started with the loss to the Oakland Athletics last night. So my wife's out of town.
Okay.
Oh, boy.
And she's the technical person.
Yeah.
So I wake up this morning. I have every channel works. Every channel on my television works except ESPN.
Well, can I cut you off there? Because it wasn't working at my gym either.
It wasn't?
No.
Okay.
It was not on any of the TVs.
So I'm on the phone with a previous company that I used to endorse previously for 45 minutes, and I could not figure out why it was not working. The young lady was very nice, refreshed it 1,000 times, did not work. Had to call them back another 45 minutes. So 90 minutes in, they finally get ESPN working for me. So now I'm okay. Now I'm centered, right?
Yeah.
Then Apple decides to update my computer without my knowledge, and it kicked me out of everything.
Oh, my goodness.
Microsoft, ESPN Plus, Twitter. I haven't logged into Twitter in 10 years. How the hell am I supposed to know what my password is? So that's what I've been doing for the last basically 3 hours of my life.
Oh, my goodness.
It's been rough.
That is rough. I'm glad that is your computer working now?
Some facets of it are working. Enough to do a 2-hour radio show.
I was going to say, I'm glad that everything's back to normal, but it sounds like only the TV is.
I'm in survival mode until Sunday when the wife gets home, and then she can help me with this. I'm just not the technical
guy.
I was going to say, are you eating? Can you cook? Is that okay?
I asked her how I was going to stay alive because she was gone for 16 days.
Wow,
she's like,
that is a long time.
Yeah, she can work remotely.
Right.
So she and the
Forrest went
up there to New
England.
England.
So you're not taking I thought you were taking care of him and dealing with all this stuff.
No.
That would have been even more chaos.
That would have been very challenging. But she said I survived for 29 years on my own without her. I could survive 16 days. So I think I'm going to make it to Sunday, but it's rough. It's going to be a close one.
I will say I hate when anything like when they do those updates on laptops, especially I used to have an older laptop before I upgraded, and so that would sometimes take like 2 hours for an update, and you
and it always is the worst timing. Somehow they figure out to just.
It would always be right before
wife's out of town. Let's mess up his life right in the middle of that trip. And I'm OCD anyway, so I've got like the Jack Nicholson as good as it gets deal. So the slightest little thing just throws me all on a tangent. So it's been an emotional 3 hours for me.
It really has. I'm so sorry. What's coming up tonight?
Oh, man, it's going to be a relief to hit these airwaves. Let me tell you, it's going to be an absolute relief. Sam Monson, Pro Football Focus, is going to join us in about 20 minutes, talk a little Jaguars, a little AFC South, and our NFC North preview continues. I think I ruffled Taylor Dahl's feathers last night.
You didn't. The guy you were talking to did.
Yeah, so we're talking Detroit. We're going to go to Chicago and to we're going to Minneapolis as well, but tonight it's all about Green Bay. So we're going to talk Packers and life after Jordan Rodgers at 9 o'clock this evening.
Jordan Rogers.
I'm telling you,
joke.
it's going to be an interesting 2 hours.
You should have gone with it,
too.
Aaron Rodgers. Rodgers. Aaron
He doesn't
Rodgers.
exist anymore.
If nothing else, you should just listen for the next 2 hours to see what else I get messed up. That's the kind of day it's been.
I love that. And by the way, this is my advice to you. If you do have technical issues, talk to your producer because he's younger than you. And all younger people are better at technical stuff
I
than
told
we
Denmark I need to confide in him tonight. He's going to be my reasoning for the next 2 hours.
I
This
love
is
it.
another Delilah night on Hacker
We said,
Show.
I thought the name of the show is Delilah After Dark. And I was
Yes.
like, is that where Hacker got it from? But it's just Delilah.
By the way, not to say anything about my competition in the
Okay.
evenings, but I also like the soothing tones of Miss Delilah. It excites me very much.
All right, thanks, Hacker.
Indeed.
We will be listening over the next 2 hours. For Mia O'Brien, for Taylor Dahl, for JJ LaSelva, I'm Lauren Brooks. Of course, don't go anywhere. Hacker After Dark comes up next. You will definitely want to be listening to that. And next week, we will be at Epping Forest for a fun event with Bold Ladies. Looking forward to that. And we'll have a very special guest. We'll tell you about her next week. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great rest of your Tuesday night.
If you like the heat, we are always bringing it. 1010 XL.
Some like it hot, some like it hot.